Dan Kolko and Bo Porter. That was something last night, Bo. It was a playoff atmosphere up in New York. The Nationals controlled the game for 8.5 innings. The Mets came back and won it in the bottom of the ninth in that half inning. How do you react to everything that happened last night and then look forward to tonight?
Well, I'll tell you what, if you're the Nationals, you're going to have to put this behind you, and you got to put this behind you fast. When you look at the fact that the Mets are absolutely red hot, and when teams get hot this late in the season, it's very hard to cool them off. So you do not want them to allow them to continue this hot streak, and basically tonight, to me, becomes a must-win ball game because you have to snatch this momentum back from the Mets.
How we feel that momentum here inside a Nationals clubhouse, inside a Mets clubhouse. How much are they feeling it right now on both sides?
Well, if you're the Mets, I mean, you're riding high. You're feeling like basically it doesn't matter what happened, you're going to find a way to win the game. If you're the Nationals, when you look at that dramatic loss last night, you're saying to yourself, we got to find a way to snatch this momentum back. So I think in both clubhouses, both teams feel like this is a must-win because when you start to look at this race has become a 4-team race anyway. So you're feeling like every game that you can win in the division is going to give you even more of a leg up down the stretch because the division teams are going to play each other so many times.
Under 50 games remaining for each of these teams now. It's getting late, and it's getting late quickly. Let's head up to Citi Field now and welcome in Alex Chappell, who has more on the clubhouse atmosphere after last night's tough loss for the Nationals. Alex, this team has been playing so well over the last, 10 weeks or so. Last night was a tough one.
Hey there, Dan and Bo. Yeah, you don't want to put too much emphasis on any one game in August, but that was a big comeback victory for the Mets. This place was absolutely rocking. It was so loud as the Mets hitters put together an unlikely rally against Sean Doolittle on a night that the Nats closer said he just didn't have it.
I don't have a lot of answers right now. I'm kind of searching and kind of going over the inning in my head right now. And the only thing I can think, or one thing that jumps to mind is I wasn't really happy with how the ball was coming out of my hand. I looked up at the scoreboard a few times and saw some 91 and 92s. And I might have been overthrowing, overcompensating, trying to throw a little bit too hard and do too much.
I think he just couldn't get the ball up. He's effective when he's up. He can't get through some balls down, a little lower than normal. But when he's up, he's effective. It stings a little bit, but we got another game tomorrow, and I absolutely love the way the guys played. I mean, we played good defense. They ran the bases well. We came up with some clutch hits. We did everything right until the ninth inning. So we just got to keep pounding them. Like I told him before, hey, we come back tomorrow, we go 1-0, and move on.
I'm joined now by FP Santangelo. Hello, my friend.
Hi.
Well, that was a tough one here last night. Mets with 11 hits last night, 6 of those, coming in the ninth inning. What was your reaction as to how things transpired?
Well, I mean, as a player, when you have a bad game or bad games in a ballpark, you have bad memories. I think Sean Doolittle's had some tough games in this place. But when you talk about his usage throughout his career, this year he's thrown 861 pitches in 50 games. Last year he threw 620 total. So he's been worked hard in the first half of the season, and Bob and I have talked about it on the broadcast. I thought the big storyline after the All-Star break was going to be how Sean Doolittle did in the second half, how he holds up. Now, I'm not saying he's gassed, I'm not saying he's hurt, anything like that. He's just thrown more pitches than he's used to. His career high, 1,019, and that was in 2013. So he's going to surpass that number right now. He might be tired, but just a blip on the radar screen last night, Alex. And I think, today's game, guys are so good at turning the page. Back in the day, we used to take the game home with us, and one loss would turn into 5 in a row. These guys were fine by the time they got back to the hotel last night.
You make such a great point, and the Nationals have done such a good job at that, turning the page this season. But you look at last night, what effect, if any, can that have on the ball club moving forward?
Yeah, I don't think any. I mean, you're only as good as your next day's pitcher. Patrick Corbin needs a good start. He had a rough one last time out. So you need a good one out of Patrick Corbin. And the atmosphere last night, as you said, was spectacular. It was playoff style. And the Mets players talked about it after the game. Guys that played in the 2015 World Series were saying this ballpark reminded them then that last night. So, it's a good atmosphere to play in. As a player, you love these kind of games. And, hey, they need to win tonight. They need to win tomorrow. You need to win every game now. I mean, you can't let them slip away like you did last night.
No doubt. FP, thank you so much for your time. Yeah, talking with Trey Turner in the clubhouse, he acknowledged tonight's a big one for the Nats. Guys, back to you.
Thank you, Alex. Thank you, FP. And we'll get that footage of you guys posing off camera to you shortly. Bo, let's talk about Sean Doolittle now. This is going to be such an important topic of conversation for this ball club going deeper into the season, as FP indicated. When we talk about him when he's at his best, what are the things that you're seeing as compared to maybe what we saw last night and when he struggles? What's the difference?
Well, when he's at his best, when you think we're living in a launch angle era where basically people want to hit the ball at the bottom of the strike zone. What makes Sean Doolittle so effective is that he's able to pitch at the top of the strike zone and above. So when you look at the height of the strike zone, Sean Doolittle was probably one of the best in the game as it relates to elevating the ball and getting swing and miss at the top of the zone and above. So now when we go to this video, when you look at this, you're going to see Sean Doolittle at his best when he is able to expand the strike zone at the top and he's able to get guys to actually chase the ball up there. He's going to get swing and miss up there. He's going to get a lot of fly balls when he's pitching at the top of the strike zone. From a hitter standpoint, it's very difficult to lay off of it because he gets such good spin rate that basically that 93, 94 is sometimes it plays up and it looks more like 96, 97. When you get to the point where, as a hitter, you saying to yourself, I don't want to chase, I don't want to chase, I want to see this guy down. Now we're going to go to last night, and that's the adjustment that the Mets were able to make. You're going to look at these pitches. These pitches are down, they're thigh high, they're in the middle of the plate, and these guys are barreling the baseball up because they're not expanding their zone. They're getting him in a more hitter-friendly part of the zone. And if you're Sean Doolittle, that's why you hear him say it's all about execution. It's all about location.
And Bo, we've got some numbers here behind us to indicate the difference in Sean Doolittle from last year, 2018, to this year, and you're going to see some obvious things here that are leading to the decrease in results that he's had this season.
Yes, I mean, when you look at the decrease in the zone, I'm going to point to just a couple of these numbers. You're going to look at the fly ball rate. It's pretty much the same. So he's going to continue to get fly balls.
Right.
But the stat that really jumps out to me is the batted ball in play rate stat. When you look at that and you see from 196 to 348, that's just tough luck when you look at that stat. But the glaring stat to me is the hard hit contact. When you look at the hard hit contact from 24% to 39%, what that tells me is that the hitters now, they're seeing Sean Doolittle better. They're no longer chasing the elevated ball at the top of the strike zone. They're bringing him down in the strike zone where basically he doesn't have the same velo there and it's becoming more hittable.
Not to mention, Bo, his rate of swings and misses this year is the lowest that it's been in years. And here are some numbers on his splits, lefties and righties. Last year, lefties could not touch Sean Doolittle. They hit .033 off him. This year, they're hitting .217 against him. Righties last year, 160. This year, 290. Those are significant increases, especially from lefties who really could not see the baseball off Sean Doolittle in the past, and then Michael Conforto squares one up last night and wins the ballgame.
And again, when you look at Michael Conforto last night, it was a swing at a pitch where the catcher was set up and away. Doolittle missed. He missed in, and he was able to barrel the baseball. Again, we talk about location. When you are a one-pitch pitcher, location becomes extremely important because the hitter knows what's coming. It's predictable. You got to make sure you get the ball where you're trying to get it and hope that they chase.